you know that tea is second only to water in the whole world? That's how popular tea is. Among them, Sri Lankan tea is at the top. Golden drink is the cute name given to a cup of Sri Lankan tea, which has been very popular all over the world for 150 years. The unique reason why our high quality tea is so popular in the world is because of Sri Lanka's topographic features, climate, and hand picking of tea leaves. So, who is picking these tea leaves? People like us, especially women who were brought from India 200 years ago. They have added great strength to Sri Lanka's economy throughout the 150 years of tea cultivation. Is there any mention of their blood, sweat, tears, chest-breaking pains somewhere in this glorious history? The UN expert reporter Obokata, who visited Sri Lanka in 2021, has said that although Sri Lanka has made some progress in terms of contemporary slavery, he has serious concerns that the living conditions of our plantation people are still very poor. He further said the daily wage of plantation workers is 1,000 rupees, and this also depends on picking 18 to 22 kilograms of tea leaves per day, which is the target set for these workers. Women have to work twice as hard as men to reach these goals. If you don't come to the target, their salary will be reduced significantly. This means over 320,000 Indian Tamils working in plantations do not have a stable daily income. The UN reporter also says, according to a 1994 government survey, the line houses are still 10 by 12 single rooms. 42% of the houses do not have adequate water, 62% do not have toilets, 64% do not have adequate lighting and ventilation. There is no windows in kitchens, no piped water, no electricity. 5 to 10 families have to share one toilet. This story made us Sri Lankans naked in front of the international community. This is called slavery.
Honorable Member, we are talking about the community that was brought to Sri Lanka to work in these plantations about 200 years ago. For 200 years, we have failed to fulfill the requirements necessary for living their life as a life. Compared to the common sources of income in our country, the plantation people have an exceptionally low salary. In our country, from the production of tea, the country produces a lot of wealth. In Sri Lanka, 23 major estate companies own a large amount of land. But MP, we cannot give a salary of 1,000 rupees. It took more than 3 years after the 1,000 rupees slogan. When you get 1,000 rupees, 1,000 doesn't matter. If we have a responsibility towards the citizens of the country, we have an equal responsibility towards the citizens of the country. We should arrange to give a fair salary to the people working in this state. Therefore, Parliament, we are ready to make any law.
200 years ago, the Indian Tamil people who were brought from India to work in the tea, rubber, coffee plantations numbered nearly 1 million by 2016. More than 320,000 people are still employed on plantation as workers, mainly women. There were countless problems that they have faced on their way to Makale after disembarking from the port that day. So many people have died. Later, some of the parents who came were forcibly deported to India, leaving their children in Sri Lanka. Those mothers and fathers in India must have died from the grief of not having children with them. Also, the little children who were left in Sri Lanka without their parents had to pick tea leaves from a young age. But we only saw the sorrow of the mothers who went to the Middle East. As a great nation, we don't even know why we don't feel that they are humans in that plantation.
The Minister of Estates said that 52 lakh hectares of land are free. So is it not justified to allocate some land from this? First, let's leave the house for later. We need to allocate a certain amount of land that they have rights to. Honorable MPs, the education in the plantation areas is less than the equivalent education in our country. In terms of science and mathematics, 38,000 children now go to universities. Out of these 38,000, if we look at it, almost 200 to 250 people from the community living near the hills and plantations are coming to the universities. All these data show that people in general are under pressure. People in general are in poverty. The people of the plantation live in greater difficulty than that. Therefore, special units should be built for those people to get the standard of living inherited by the common people. Next, especially health, because this is below the general society. If this is below the common society, at least bring it up to the common society. Underneath is not only the lack of houses, underneath is the lack of all facilities. Therefore, what needs to be done through an authority that has all powers after thinking about all facilities. These people should be brought to the level of common people.
What happened in 1983? Even today we can go abroad and say we are Sri Lankans because of what JR, Ranil and other fanatics have done. In 1983, these brutal, murderous rulers who gave leave to the army and police when thugs were beating and burning innocent Tamil people. Then they came to power on the basis of attacking mosques and falsely accusing innocent Muslims in 2019. Now they are struggling to bring the 13th Amendment because they love those people, right? Is it a new news to any of us that this bloodthirsty generation is directly involved in the Easter attack that Channel 4 revealed on September 4th? The specialty of every advanced nation is to give equal human rights. In order for a country to develop, all nations must unite and take responsibility for the economic development of that country. It will only happen if they are treated equally. Until those who rule our country realize that, we will remain as a bankrupt nation. At the same time, it must be said that the politicians who came from the elite families in the north did not care about these people except to use these innocent plantation people for their own power. When will we become human beings and treat others equally? Why we always treat our Muslim and Tamil brothers and sisters as lower class people? We offer flowers and offerings to Buddha every day. But do we respect the Buddha's philosophy that treated Sopak and Sunita with love and kindness?
I mean, poverty is not just a lack of food and drink. What is poverty? How are you treated if you go to the police? Poverty is not the lack of money in the pocket. It's a social disaster. They have become a big victim of that social disaster. To put it mildly, if there is no one to work in a Colombo house, they look for a boy in the plantation. If there is no one to wash the dishes in the hotel, they look to see if there is a boy in the plantation. This situation has been created. Therefore, this problem is a problem known to everyone in this parliament, which has arisen for a long time, but no formal method has been prepared for this problem. Prepare that formal system. We are loyal to any proposal that is brought to the parliament for that, members of parliament.
Do you believe that who ruled our country for 200 years can resolve this unresolved problem today? Therefore, we should think about a people's force that can give some solution to this, right?